All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to continuing coverage from Radio Row at Super Bowl 60. This is the legend Mark Kerr.
Thank you.
Who has suddenly become Hollywood famous over the last year or so as The Rock played you in the hit The Smashing Machine, which I just saw a week ago.
Oh my God,
Great movie.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been, to say it's been a whirlwind is an understatement. It's been enlightening. It's been enlightening,
Yeah, what was your experience working with Dwayne Johnson and the group that made the movie?
He as a human being outside of anything else, he's just he's just an incredible person. You know, I think people really do underestimate like who he is as a human being. You know, just absolutely amazed. And when the lights are off, cameras away, he's just a really grounded, totally present. You know, it's like one of those things, like most of the time when I talk to my 21-year-old son, he's got his phone in his hand, like none of that. Like when you talk to him, he's completely present. He actually values what you have to say to him.
Yeah.
You know, which is incredible.
I could see he could relate to this story too. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, all these wrestling greats came before him. You're really one of the founding fathers of the sport, and he carried it on to the next generation.
Yeah. It's, you know, the whole, like looking back on it, you know, I always looked at like my participation. I was trying to create a standard because the standard didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew what a mixed martial artist looked like, you know, talked like, showed up. What did it look like when they got in the ring? I was trying to create a standard because I was trying to be a professional. If I was a professional, I can get paid like a professional, right?
Yeah.
If I showed up at interviews on time, I wore a suit, not a t-shirt to, you know, just this whole narrative that I created going, okay, I'm going to make myself valuable, then I can ask for pay like a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he played you as a really genuinely nice person. Is that true? Are you really
no, I'm genuinely nice person. Like most of the time I say, it's like
a gentle giant.
Yeah, most of us walk around like I got nothing to prove, man. I tell people like I put my sword and shield down. I don't have to carry it. You know. And it's this freedom where it's like, it just allows me to be me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to flex on anybody. You know, it's like most fighters are built like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, put us in a ring and it's a completely different story.
Yeah. In this story, obviously, it talks about addiction with pain medication. It talks about mental illness and dealing with all of those issues. So how have you kind of thought about telling your story and where you are
You
now?
know, I think it's like right now the relevance and importance of like addiction and asking for help and getting to a place where, you know, for me it was one of those where my mind was like, okay, I have to be available. And so I cut corners, took pain medication, and it turned into this huge addiction. And it was one of those things looking back on it going, wow, you know, what trapped me in that for a long time is the shame that you feel around addiction. Like, who am I going to tell? What am I going to talk about? The internet wasn't the internet. You know, there wasn't getting on. I couldn't, you know.
I don't think people knew what opioids were at that time either.
They didn't understand how dangerous they are. You know, and now, you know, I look at like, you know, with fentanyl and the epidemic that's created, it's destroyed families, it's destroyed communities. And it's one where, you know, a lot of that, you know, if people see me in this position and see me on the other side of it, you know, that's the hope of like, hey, you can get through this. It's difficult. It's really hard.
Did you want your story told this way, or did they come to you? How did that happen?
So originally the documentary was a film crew that followed me around. I call it a pocket of time. You know, at the time that this was filmed in 1999, 2000, and then released on HBO in 2002, in that pocket I was a #1 mixed martial artist heavyweight in the world. Yeah. So it captured this little pocket of time. And it's one of those where
caught you at the height of your
career. It did, and it caught the downfall of it. Right. You know, caught the downfall. I overdosed on opiates, and you know that whole entire process. It's, you know, it's. At first, I said, no way, I can't go through with it. Like when the documentary and they showed me the final cut, I go, no, I'm not going to do it. And then the whole message for me was, hey, if you literally by telling your story could save one life, one person, right? Then you've lived a noble life, right? I've lived the life that's worth living. And it was that message just resonated with me. Yeah. And it was like, you know, looking at it, I go, okay, let's do this. Yeah. You know, and it changed everything.
We were talking before we started taping that you're on a text chain with a number of different current NFL coaches, players, Jay Glazer as well. Just discussing life, mental health.
It is. Because, you know, in the fall there was an article that was written for The Athletic, and it connected a lot, like Sean McVay, Dan Quinn, and stuff like that, and Jay Glazer on a text chain. And it's just men checking in with men. You know, it's like getting to a point where it's like, hey, man, if we can be vulnerable with each other, it's a safe place that we can communicate and talk about difficult things. You know, one of those things where when I internalize stuff that's going on with me and I don't verbalize it, I eat myself alive. You know, it's like through the process of all this, I didn't understand, like, allowing myself a simple thing, which is grace. I'm not perfect. You know, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to do things incorrectly. I'm going to do things wrong. And when I'm able to verbalize it and get it out there, it lets the next person know that it's okay. Right? You're having a bad day, say something. You need help, ask for it. You know, that's the most powerful thing we can do, is going, hey, man, I need help.
All right, last thing. Tell us about Datavault AI.
So
That's
Datavault AI,
tell us what's going on with that.
So Datavault AI partnered with Sports Illustrated to develop an exchange for NIL. And so right now, like NFL alumni health and NFL alumni are looking at like retired NFL players and going, okay, hey, you still have control. You can take control of your name, image, and likeness. Right? You can create it as a source of income. And so right now they're developing it, and I'm going to develop it in mixed martial arts, where we're going to go after that community to understand, like, you were I was a product, right?
That's right.
And I didn't own my product. Somebody else owned it.
That's right.
And so now it gives me the ability to take that back. And so I can own my brand, my product, it's ownership, and I can profit off it. I can do what people have been doing with it for a long time, right? Like, there's billionaires and billionaires and billionaires out there for taking my NIL and doing something with it, taking your NIL, doing something with it, and making money from it. So it's an opportunity to really create revenue sources where they don't exist. And I'm like amazed that somebody didn't think of this 10 years ago.
I always ask players who played in the 60s or 70s, did you ever think the NFL would be this? In a short period of time, your sport went from where you were, that was profiled in the movie, to this
It's
massive,
a behemoth.
Did you ever foresee that?
No, not to the extent where it is. I felt like once the boxing commissions really sanctioned it and put rules in place, that you could sell it to a housewife in Nebraska, the pay-per-view, right? And so once that happened, I go, okay, not understanding like where it is now. But understanding also is that they're in that position and they've done what they've done because they've been able to capitalize on every aspect of the fighter, monetize every aspect and capture that. Right? So with Datavault AI, it allows that athlete to actually take that ownership back, which is, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to empower the individual to do that.
Mark, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
All
Thanks
right,
for
thank
having
you.
me. Thank you.